Hi, YouTube. Hello. Huzzad is working now. Okay. Nimbus, control yourself. Hello, hello. We are back to read some more of The Mysterious Island. And just a reminder that we are still pushing to unlock the second and final stage of the YouTube Partner Program. And now there's a deadline. We have to do this before February, you guys. So thank you so much to everyone who's watching over on YouTube. I see DJ, I see Northman, I see Quantum Weasel, I see Sean, I see Artex, I see Kessiax, I see Fidge. Thank you so much. I see Goddess Himiko. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching over there. Just want to remind, these are the goals that we are working on and that we need to fulfill before February. Is doable, but it's still far enough away that I'm kind of nervous about it. I see Buddha. Hello, Buddha. So thank you. I don't know, these seem pretty cool so far. They said howdy, so you know, maybe they're a cowboy. But yes, every single subscription is so appreciated, and one of the best ways to help support is just that while I'm streaming, if you're going to be watching anyway, if you are able to open up the YouTube stream, holy hell, it really makes a difference. So heck yeah. Oh my god. What? DJ, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you. No Twitch cut? True. Thank you. That is so freaking sweet of you. Painted spaceship. Do you want me to call you Semester, or do you want me to call you Painted Spaceship when you're chatting on YouTube? Let me know. And Zen. Hello. Either? Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I've got a theory that chat activity near the beginning of stream, or even like spamming those little like heart things, like those, that was me. That was me. Spamming hearts on my own chat. I admit it. Himiko? Did you just got a membership? Thank you for getting a membership to this channel. Thank you. Oh my goodness, now you can use the emotes, and you've got the badge next to your name over here. Self-love on YouTube. Gasp. Hi, Akina. Wait, you guys, what is the verb for this? Because like, obviously on Twitch, the paid version is subbing, so you sub, which is the free version on YouTube, you sub. But when you get a membership, like it's, oh, you membershiped. There's not a catchy verb for it. Yeah, but you membered? Like, that doesn't work. Electric Bees, thank you for watching on YouTube. Is it just called members though, not memberships? I actually don't remember. Like, you are a member, but I don't know if the thing is called memberships, maybe. Hi, Loyal. Have a great day, fucking filled with lots of goodness. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It says join? Yeah, but that's so vague, because that could just mean someone joining the chat. If someone cancels, then they get dismembered? Well, that's promising, isn't it? Wait, Artax is saying that because it's you join a human centipede of sorts. That raises some interesting biological questions. I'm looking for my lip gloss. Here it is. Himiko claims the ass. Okay, Himiko's the booty. You're still stuck on thanks for membering? Maybe I should just roll with that. It's super awkward, but maybe it'll like grow on us, you know? Much like this human centipede is growing. You're confused? Me too. Me too. But thank you. Thank you so much. No, not remember. Although I guess if you renew it, then you are remembering. It is kind of weird that you can remember and dismember, but not really just member as a verb. Well, we've got an interesting lexical conundrum here. I do love a lexical conundrum. You're shaking the centipede, don't be. Christ. We could just say membing. Thanks for membing. Hi, Thor. I haven't eaten meat today, but I did take my iron pill last night. Thank you for checking on me. Also, Thor, and can you notice, like, I think that it's been working. Do you guys remember how fucking drained? Like, I feel like I have visibly more energy these days, even despite everything going on, despite the increased back pain and all of that. Like, just, I look less faded. Yeah, and I mean, I've had like actual physiological improvements. Like, my nails are growing back. They were like so fragile and flaking off. I'm like losing less hair. Like, I was very anemic, man. So it's definitely helping, particularly once I realized that you had to space apart taking iron pills with caffeine. So thank you, Thor. You like played the main role in getting me to stick to taking that. I was in a bad place. Yeah, it would be nice to have a steak soon, for sure. All right. Ooh. You were gonna make it worse? Oh no, wait. Now I'm curious. The word member also does have some other connotations. So wait, does anyone else remember swollen members? I feel like I haven't thought of them in so many years. But what an insane name for your band. You now know pain? What, Jake? Why? Why? Oh yeah, if you're on meds, you probably shouldn't be eating grapefruits, which is very sad. I love grapefruit. But it changes the way that you absorb your medication. You fell off an electric scooter? Are you okay, Jake? Are you okay? Oh no! You got road rash, eh? Damn. That's like the Teen Girl Squad throwback. They're kind of around the same era, aren't they? Yeah. And your palm, oh no. You think Jake is faking? Yet to be fair, Jake, your username does not lend credibility to your story. Jake the Faker. For a second I was like, damn, Minnesota. Oh my god. Yeah, those things are... Wait, when you say scooter, do you mean like the little slalom ski with the handles? Or do you mean like a moped? Because back in the day, if you said scooter, it meant like a moped, like a Vespa. Like a little motorcycle, basically. And now it I am so amazed that those things caught on. Did you guys know that they tried to launch those push scooters? Like, and then they came out with electric ones later. They tried to launch those in the early 2000s. And we thought that was the lamest shit ever. Millennials just like, as a generation, were like, you look like a fucking nerd. And they just like disappeared. They disappeared for years. And then they soft launched them again for Gen Z. And Gen Z were like, hell yeah, these are awesome. Now they're here. Because the thing is that they were just compared to skateboards. And it was just like a lamer version of a skateboard, like with handles. So it's really interesting to see now. Hi, Lima. Hi, famous Cuban. Really? No, it's all the same. Well, I hope you feel better soon, Jake. I will say, okay, years ago, I got wicked road rash. And it would not heal. Like, I was taking care of it, I was cleaning it, I was putting on the ointments and the bandages, and it like would not heal. And then I just went for a swim in the ocean, and it was gravy from then on out. It would just healed right up. Loyal's saying, you remember, you get to take care of your body once you found your calling, like you found YouTubing as yours. It's taxing sitting in front of... Yes, sitting is really bad for you. You are absolutely right. I am working on it. Both with like back therapy, but also just trying to like incorporate more movement into my day. Yeah. Hi, Dustin. Hello. You had a Razor scooter as a kid and you annihilated your shins with them. Heck yeah. No, I mean, I think the electric ones are getting people into a lot of crashes and everything. They can be dangerous, but like, so were skateboards. Do people skateboard there? I mean, some people, it's not as popular anymore, which is sad. Used to be like a much bigger thing. I tried to get into skateboarding for a while. I had a skateboard. I learned a little bit. And then I went back to my true love, which was rollerblading. I used to rollerblade a lot. There's a little skate park near your house. Skateboards don't often go 40 miles per hour. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I get it that, like, these electric scooters are very portable. And a lot of people just can't fucking afford cars. I can't afford a car, you know? It's a tough world out there. And so if that helps with, like, transportation, you can take it on the bus with you, you know? Back pain as a writer, 12 hours in front writing and research. Oh yeah, it can really, really do a number on you. I mean, my back pain, my back issues predate sitting, but sitting has definitely not been good for my body. Yeah. This combo feels very 90s. No, very, Naughties. Very naughties. But hello, KB. Is this the reading segment? God damn it, yes. Yes, sorry. I'm so chatty. Okay. Let me swallow this bite and then we'll start reading. Oh, thanks, Kev. I'm doing okay. Had to go get my license renewed today, but it went very quickly and smoothly, so that was good. Okay. All right. Let's dive into it. We are returning to our reading of The Mysterious Island by Jules Verne. Now, our little group of intrepid men, castaways, or colonists, as they prefer to think of themselves, have been stuck on this island with a handful of pirates who have done a whole lot of damage, both ruining some of their crops and their poultry yard, and also shooting and almost killing Herbert. Herbert was about to die, and all they needed was some quinine for his malarial fever, and then it just appeared. It appeared, a bottle of it, and they healed him. Some time has gone by. They know that somewhere around them, they've got some sort of mysterious benefactor. Is it a spirit? Is it a person? We don't know. They don't know. But they've also got 5 pirates. And they need to figure out where they are. And they decide to set out on a little bit of an expedition. They take the whole crew, even Jupe. They take a wagon, and they start off exploring some parts that they aren't as familiar with, but they're following tracks. They find evidence of places where the pirates have camped in the past. Now, they do find their way kind of back to the corral. And then Top smells something and is acting kind of weird. And they go forward and they see before them 5 corpses. The dead bodies of the 5 pirates. Now, was this their benefactor at work again? Is he now just straight up killing their enemies for them? I guess we're gonna find out. That's where we left off. And that's where we're gonna pick up, and we are at chapter 55. 55. So it is a genie island. I guess we'll find out. Alright. So yes, if you were reading along with me, that is in the link, then we are starting with chapter 55, or LV. Okay. How had it happened? Who had killed the convicts? Ayrton? No. Since the moment before, he had feared their return. Oh yeah, they found Ayrton. Who they had presumed dead. He's not dead. He's alive, but he's not in a great condition. He's on his bed in the corral. Hut. Yeah. Okay. He had feared their return. But Ayrton was now in a slumber from which it was impossible to arouse him. After he had spoken these few words, he had fallen back upon his bed, seized by a sudden torpor. The colonists, terribly excited, preyed upon by 1,000 confused hopes, no, 1,000 confused thoughts, remained all night in the house. The next morning, Ayrton awoke from his sleep, and his companions demonstrated to him their joy at finding him safe and sound after all these months of separation. Then Ayrton related, in a few words, all that had happened. The day after his return to the corral, the 10th of November, just at nightfall, he had been surprised by the convicts who had climbed over the fence. He was tied and gagged and taken to a dark cavern at the foot of Mount Franklin, where the convicts had a retreat. His death had been resolved upon, and he was to be killed the following day, when one of the convicts recognized him and called him by the name he had borne in Australia. These wretches, who would have massacred Ayrton, respected Ben Joyce. Well, from this moment, Ayrton was subjected to the importunities of his old comrades. They wished to gain him over to them, and they counted upon him to take Granite House, to enter that inaccessible dwelling, and to become masters of the island, after having killed the convicts. No, after having killed the colonists. Ayrton resisted. The former convict, repentant and pardoned, would rather die than betray his companions. For 4 months, fastened, gagged, watched, he had remained in this cavern. Meanwhile, the convicts lived upon the stock in the corral, but did not inhabit the place. On the 11th of November, 2 of these bandits, inopportunely surprised by the arrival of the colonists, fired on Herbert, and one of them returned boasting of having killed one of the inhabitants. His companion, as we know, had fallen at Smith's hand. One can judge of Ayrton's despair when he heard of Herbert's death. It left but 4 of the colonists, almost at the mercy of the convicts. Following this event, and during all the time that the colonists, detained by Herbert's illness, remained at the corral, the pirates did not leave their cave. Indeed, after having pillaged Prospect Plateau, they did not deem it prudent to leave it. The bad treatment of Ayrton was redoubled. His hands and feet still bore the red marks of the lines with which he remained bound day and night. Each moment he expected to be killed. This was the 3rd week in February. Ma'am? Hey. Hey! Nimbus, stop that. You okay, Miss Cloud? You okay? I'm sorry. There was a little mature content going on in the guinea pig pen. A folk orator I could construct from your name, Faolkor. Aww. She could be good at reading folk tales too. Oh my god, Loyal. We haven't done as much lately. It's been a tough year. We need to start doing it reliably again, but I have read a lot of folk tales and mythology on this channel. Well, on Twitch. We haven't done it yet, multi-streaming to YouTube. But yeah, this whole bookcase over here is like my folklore, fairy tales, mythology shelf, so yes. Okay. Alright. This was the third week in February. The convicts, awaiting a favorable opportunity, rarely left their retreat, and then only to a point in the interior or on the west coast. Ayrton had no news of his friends and no hopes of seeing them again. Finally, Sorry, I think I puffed in the microphone. Finally, the poor, unfortunate, enfeebled by bad treatment, fell into a profound prostration in which he neither saw nor heard anything. From this moment, he could not say what had happened. "But, Mr. Smith," he added, "since I was imprisoned in this cavern, how is it that I am here?" "How is that the convicts are lying there dead in the middle of the corral?" answered the engineer. "Dead?" cried Ayrton, half rising, notwithstanding his feebleness. His companions assisted him to get up, and all went to the little brook. It was broad daylight. There on the shore, in the position in which they had met their deaths, lay the 5 convicts. Ayrton was astounded. The others looked on without speaking. Then, at a sign from Smith, Neb and Pencroff examined the bodies. Not a wound was visible upon them. Only after minute search, Pencroff perceived on the forehead of one, on the breast of another, on this one's back, and on the shoulder of a fourth, a small red mark, a hardly visible bruise made by some unknown instrument. "There is where they have been hit," said Smith. "But with what sort of a weapon?" cried the reporter. "A destructive weapon enough, though unknown to us." "And who has destroyed them?" asked Pencroff. "The ruler of the island," answered Smith. "He who has brought you here, Ayrton, whose influence is again manifesting itself, who does for us what we are unable to do for ourselves, and then who hides from us." "Well, let us search for him," cried Pencroff. "Yes, we will search," replied Smith. "But the being who accomplishes such prodigies will not be found until it pleases him to call us to him." This invisible protection, which nullified their own actions, both annoyed and affected the engineer. The relative inferiority in which it placed him wounded his pride. "Oh, come on, man." He loves being the smartest boss man on the island, doesn't he? Hi, Taco Cat. Oh, man. Okay. Wounded his pride. A generosity which so studiously eluded all mark of recognition denoted a sort of disdain for those benefited, which, in a measure, detracted from the value of the gift. "Let us search," he repeated, "and heaven grant that someday we be permitted to prove to this haughty protector that he is not dealing with ingrates. Oh, what would I not give to be able, in our turn, to repay him, and to render him, even at the risk of our lives, some signal service?" From this time, the search was the single endeavor of the... Taco Cat, thank you for gifting a sub to Losing Generation. Thank you, Taco. Thank you, thank you. From this time, this search was the single endeavor of the inhabitants of Lincoln Island. All tried to discover the answer to this enigma, an answer which involved the name of a man endowed with an inexplicable and almost superhuman power. In a short time, the colonists entered the house again, and their efforts soon restored Ayrton to himself. Neb and Pencroff carried away the bodies of the convicts and buried them in the wood. Then Ayrton was informed by the engineer of all that had happened during his imprisonment. "And now," said Smith, finishing his recital, "we have one more thing to do. Half of our task is accomplished, but if the convicts are no longer to be feared, we did not restore ourselves to the mastership of the island." "Very well," replied Spilett. "Let us search all the mazes of Mount Franklin. Let us leave no cavity, no hole unexplored. If ever a reporter found himself in the presence of an exciting mystery, I am in that position." "And we will not return to Granite House," said Herbert, "until we have found our benefactor." "Yes," said Smith. "We will do everything that is possible for human beings to do. But, I repeat it, we will not find him till he wills it." What? I don't know. Like, of course I would be curious and wanting to meet this person, but also, like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Do you know what I mean? Like, for all they know, and look, I think we can say with full confidence, like, this isn't a supernatural thing, but for all they know, it is a supernatural thing. For all they know, by the way, it's a woman, but no, they don't even consider that option. But, like, just let it do its thing. Leave no hole unexplored. What do you think? You think we're gonna be penetrating some more bowels tonight? Of the earth? We know the benefactor is a he because no woman will ever be anywhere near this island. No. Because girls have cooties. Mm-hmm. You improve your orator skill and make it better every day. Like riyaz, which means practice. Who knows, you could be the Lady Morgan Freeman one day. Your voice has that tone and soul. Damn. Thank you. You never even thought of the cooties problem? Yeah. That's obviously what these pirates died of. That little spot? Classic. They got hit with the cooties. This is a dick-heavy island. Hi, Delta Trap. Hi, I'm doing alright. How are you doing? No, real talk though, it sounds like their benefactor, what do we think, injected them? That little tiny spot that looks like a bruise? Right, and that's circle, circle, dot, dot, got a cootie shot, but little do they know the cootie shot was actually like to give them cooties instead of protect against it. Classic. Classic trap. Blow darts? True. Could be. No, that's probably more likely, because otherwise, like, how would he get close enough? Yeah, probably blow darts. That's... The cootie shot and live buggers in it. Yeah, and they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. You found some expensive headphones once and assumed it was a guy because no woman would be dumb enough to not notice these big heavy headphones are suddenly not on their head. No, Kev, you'll learn the truth. Women can be stupid too. It's not a gendered quality. We can all be dumb and forgetful. Isn't that wonderful? We should just focus on how that brings us together. That was your moment of sexism, yeah. You didn't account for the idiot women. I'm one. I've lost many things. I live in one of the rainiest places on earth, and years ago I took a vow that I'm not allowed to buy myself any more umbrellas. Because I've lost so many umbrellas. Artax, thank you for the 200 biddies. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, let's see. We're not even done the chapter. Okay. Shall we stay here at the corral? Asked Pencroff. Yes, replied the engineer. Let us remain here. Provisions are abundant, and we're in the center of our circle of investigation. And moreover, if it is necessary, the wagon can go quickly to Granite House. All right, said Pencroff. Only one thing. What is that? Well, the fine weather is here. We must not forget that we have a voyage to make. A voyage? Asked Spilett. Yes, to Tabor Island. We must put up a notice indicating our island, in case the Scotch yacht returns. Who knows that it is not already too late? But, Pencroff, asked Ayrton, how do you propose to make this voyage? Oh, on the good luck. The good luck, cried Ayrton. Oh, it's gone. Gone? Shouted Pencroff, springing to his feet. Yes, the convicts discovered where the sloop lay, and a week ago they put out to sea in her, and, said Pencroff, his heart trembling. And not having Harvey to manage her, they ran her upon the rocks, and she broke all to pieces. Oh, the wretches! The pirates! The devils! Exclaimed the sailor. Pencroff, said Herbert, taking his hand, we will build another, a larger good luck. We have all the iron, all the rigging of the brig at our disposal. But do you realize, answered Pencroff, that it will take at least 5 or 6 months to build a vessel of 30 or 40 tons? We will take our time, replied the reporter, and we will give up our voyage to Tabor Island for this year. We must make the best of it, Pencroff, said the engineer, and I hope that this delay will not be prejudicial to us. Oh, my poor good luck, my poor boat, exclaimed the sailor, half broken-hearted at the loss of what was so dear to him. The destruction of the sloop was a thing much to be regretted. Taco, thank you for the biddies. Thank you. The destruction of the You guys can't hear the noises, but it's really loud. Okay. The destruction of the sloop was a thing much to be regretted, and it was agreed that this loss must be repaired as soon as the search was ended. This search was begun the same day, the 19th of February, and lasted throughout the week. The base of the mountain was composed of a perfect labyrinth of ravines and gorges, and it was here that the explorations must be made. No other part of the island was so well suited to hide an inhabitant who wished to remain concealed. But so great was the intricacy of these places that Smith explored them by a settled system. In the first place, the colonists visited the valley opening to the south of the volcano, in which Fall River rose. Here was where Ayrton showed them the cavern of the convicts. This place was in exactly the same condition as Ayrton had left it. They found here a quantity of food and ammunition left there as a reserve by the convicts. All this beautiful wooded valley was explored with great care, and then, the southwestern spur having been turned, the the colonists searched a narrow gorge where the trees were less numerous. Here the stones took the place of grass, and the wild goats and mouflons bounded among the rocks. The arid part of the island began at this part. They saw already that of the numerous valleys ramifying from the base of Mount Franklin, 3 only, bounded on the west by Fall River and on the east by Red Creek, were as rich and fertile as the Valley of the Corral. These 2 brooks, which developed into rivers as they progressed, received the whole of the mountain southern watershed and fertilized that portion of it. As to the Mersey, it was more directly fed by abundant springs hidden in Jacamar Wood. Now, any one of these 3 valleys would have answered for the retreat of some recluse, who would have found there all the necessaries of life. But the colonists had explored each of them without detecting the presence of man. Was it then at the bottom of these arid gorges, in the midst of heaps of rocks, in the rugged ravines to the north, between the streams of lava, that they would find this retreat and its occupant? The northern part of Mount Franklin had, at its base, 2 large arid valleys, strewn with lava, sown with huge rocks, sprinkled with pieces of obsidian and labradorite. This part required long and difficult exploration. Here were 1,000 cavities, not very comfortable perhaps, but completely hidden and difficult of access. The colonists visited somber tunnels made in the Plutonic epoch, still blackened by the fires of other days, which plunged into the heart of the mountain. They searched these dark galleries by the light of torches, peering into their least excavations and sounding their lowest depths. But everywhere was silence, obscurity. It did not seem as if any human being had ever trodden these antique corridors, or an arm displaced one of these stones. Nevertheless, if these places were absolutely deserted, if the obscurity was complete, Smith was forced to notice that absolute silence did not reign there. Having arrived at the bottom of one of these somber cavities, which extended several hundred feet into the interior of the mountain, he was surprised to hear deep muttering sounds, which were intensified by the sonority of the rocks. Spilett, who was with him, also heard these distant murmurs, which indicated an awakening of the subterranean fires. Oh shit. Oh shit. Several times they listened, and they came to the conclusion that some chemical reaction was going on in the bowels of the earth. The volcano is not entirely extinct, said the reporter. Well, it is possible that since our exploration of the crater, something has happened in its lower regions. All volcanoes, even those which are said to be extinct, can evidently become active again. Hi, Black Dragon. Welcome in. Welcome. Hello, hello. Gasp indeed. Yeah. This is bad news. This is bad news, for sure. Welcome in, Raiders. And you guys, if you're not already following Black Dragon and Tavern Gaming, make sure that you're dropping a follow and checking out their content. It's a husband and wife duo over there, and they also will read to you. Heck yeah! And tell stories and sing songs and generally make you feel so welcome. They're awesome. Welcome in. Were you guys doing some reading tonight? We are getting closer to the end of our current book, which is, of course, The Mysterious Island. Yeah. Yeah, this is bad news for our group of men here. Because, like, otherwise, like, yeah, of course you'd hope to be saved, but, like, they've got a decent life going on this island. But if there's an active volcano, like, right there, suddenly it's a lot harder to sleep at night. You're reading The Dragon and the George again? Oh, right. Okay. Nice. Well, thank you again so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. We're probably going to finish this chapter and then maybe read one more, and then do some traditional ASMR triggers after that. So if that sounds nice and cozy to you, please get comfy. And, oh man, oh no. Oh no, I hope that goes well. Is this, I'm speaking of Castle right now, right? Will Una still be able to stream at least? That's one of the benefits of having two people running a stream, hey? A French book, yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, we're reading it in English, but we've read a decent amount of French literature, actually. Because we've read a few books by Verne, and we also have read some things by Dumas. All right. Hi, Lulua. Hello. Okay, let's jump back in. Oh, thank you, Phoenix. Likewise. Okay. Okay. You've had some. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope that all goes so smoothly and that you get some relief after that. Nous lisons ici. Indeed. No, yeah, I'm sorry. It came out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. Alright. But if Mount Franklin is preparing for another eruption, is not Lincoln Island in danger? I don't think so, answered the engineer. Well, the crater, that is to say, the safety valve, exists, and the overflow of vapors and lavas will escape, as heretofore, by its accustomed outlet. Unless the lavas make a new passage towards the fertile parts of the island. Why, my dear Spilett, should they not follow their natural course? Well, volcanoes are capricious. Notice, said Smith, that all the slope of the mountain favors the flow of eruptive matter towards the valleys which we are traversing at present. It would take an earthquake to so change the center of gravity of the mountain as to modify this slope. But an earthquake is always possible under these conditions. True, replied the engineer, especially when the subterranean forces are awakening and the bowels of the earth, after a long repose, chance to be obstructed. Verne is obsessed with calling the earth bowel. He's obsessed with that phrasing. Christ. Artax, thank you for the biddies. I also think that plate tectonics are really cool, but I also would not want to be caught up in it. I say living in one of the most earthquake prone areas. I really don't want to be caught up in it. Okay. Yeah, well, now the bowels of the earth are obstructed. Yeah. Okay. You are right, my dear Spilett. An eruption would be a serious thing for us. And it would be better if this volcano has not the desire to wake up. But we can do nothing. Ma'am. They're fine, by the way. Nim's just she's just in heat. she's just down bad. That's all. They're not actually fighting. She's just down bad and she's taking it out on Cloud, and Cloud doesn't want to be involved in it. Like, they're not harming each other or anything. Okay. Exactly. But we can do nothing. Nevertheless, in any case, I do not think Prospect Plateau could be seriously menaced. Between it and the lake, there is quite a depression in the land, and even if the lavas took the road to the lake, they would be distributed over the downs and the parts adjoining Shark Gulf. We have not yet seen any smoke from the summit, indicating a near eruption, said Spilett. No, answered the engineer. Not the least vapor has escaped from the crater. It was but yesterday that I observed its upper part. But it is possible that rocks, cinders, and hardened lavas have accumulated in the lower part of its chimney, and for the moment, this safety valve is overloaded. But at the first serious effort, all obstacles will disappear, and you may be sure, my dear Spilett, that neither the island, which is the boiler, nor the volcano, which is the valve, will burst under the pressure. Nevertheless, I repeat, it is better to wish for no eruption. Okay, Sam. Sleep well. Sleep well. Thanks for hanging out. Hi, Hollow Clips. Thank you for the streak. And yet we are not mistaken, replied the reporter. We plainly hear ominous rumblings in the depths of the volcano. No, replied the engineer, after listening again with the utmost attention. That is not to be mistaken. Something is going on there, the importance of which cannot be estimated, nor what the result will be. Smith and Spilett, on rejoining their companions, told them of these things. All right, cried Pencroff. This volcano wants to take care of us. But let it try. It will find its master. Who's that? asked Neb. Well, our genius, Neb. Our good genius, who will put a gag in the mouth of the crater if it attempts to open it. The confidence of the sailor in the guardian of the island was absolute, and indeed the occult power which had so far been manifested seemed limitless. But, thus far, this being had escaped all the efforts the colonists had made to discover him. I want to make a note that, because they've described him as a genius before, and that's referencing an older meaning of the word genius. Like, now we use it as an adjective or a noun to describe someone of very high intelligence, extremely high intelligence. However, a genius, and I think this goes back to like ancient Greece, maybe, was seen as a separate being. And if you were, say, an artist and you composed or painted or sculpted or whatever something of brilliance, it wasn't that you were a genius, it was that you were visited by a genius, right? The genius bestowed this upon you. It was like an entity, kind of like a muse. So when they're describing their benefactor as a genius, they're talking about him as like this otherworldly kind of spiritual entity. Yeah. From the 19th to the 25th of February, the investigations were conducted in the western portion of Lincoln Island, where the most secret recesses were searched. They even sounded each rocky wall as one knocks against the walls of a suspected house. The engineer went so far as to take the exact measure of the mountain, and he pushed his search to the last strata, sustaining it. It was explored to the summit of the truncated cone which rose above the first rocky level, and from there to the upper edge of the enormous cap at the bottom of which opened the crater. They did more. They visited the gulf, still extinct, but in whose depths the rumblings were distinctly heard. Nevertheless, not a smoke, not a vapor, no heat in the wall indicated a near eruption. But neither there nor in any other part of Mount Franklin did the colonists find the traces of him whom they sought. Nilani, welcome in. Hello. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Their investigations were then directed over all the tract of downs. They carefully examined the high lava walls of Shark Gulf from base to summit, although it was very difficult to reach the water level. No one. Nothing. These two words summed up, in brief, the result of all the useless fatigues Smith and his companions had been at, and they were a trifle annoyed at their ill success. But it was necessary now to think of returning, as these researches could not be pursued indefinitely. The colonists were convinced that this mysterious being did not reside upon the surface of the island, and strange thoughts floated through their overexcited imaginations. Neb and Pencroff particularly went beyond the strange, into the region of the supernatural. Hi Tex, hello, thank you for the resub. Oh my god, 37 months? Tex, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. And Taco, thank you for another gift sub to Tiny Fur Shark. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Also, hello, Red Boy. It's so good to see you. Okay. Artax, thank you for the 100 biddies. What the heck? Thank you so much. Okay, we're almost done this chapter. There we go. Okay. The 25th of February, the colonists returned to Granite House, and by means of the double cord, shot by an arrow to the door landing, communication was established with their domain. 1 month later, they celebrated the 3rd anniversary of their arrival on Lincoln Island. End of chapter. Oh my goodness. Red Boy, thank you for the 200 biddies. Thank you. Thank you so much. Fidge, you going veg? Thank you for everything, Fidge. Sleep well. Artax, what the heck? Thank you for 200 more biddies. Thank you. Thank you so much. This. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Yes, thank you to everyone who is watching on YouTube. You are helping me out so much reaching my goals to get the YouTube partner program fully unlocked. One more chapter? Yeah, that was a long chapter, wasn't it? Yeah, we should do one more. Let me double check. I'm on YouTube on your TV? Oh my goodness. Not with my lipstick looking as bad as it does. How you doing, Leia? It's good to see you. You're not sure who Taco Cat Bravo is? They are a lovely member of the community. Quantum. Hello. YouTube viewers, you guys, thank you. Yes, if you are on Twitch and you have the ability to open up YouTube, holy heck. Holy heck. Does anyone want to guess how many concurrent YouTube viewers we have? You do both? Hell yeah. Yeah, thank you, Red Boy. Numbers get bigger. Well, let's read one more chapter. Oof. It's trying to keep on top of your food intake, track your calories and such. Yeah, man. There's it's tough. It is tough. I know, like, several people right now. I don't know. Is it something in the air? Several people right now, myself included, are kind of starting like some version of either a fitness or weight loss or both journey. Was that elbow meant to crack? I mean, my elbow does tend to crack. It's kind of crunchy. I really cannot overstate how poorly I'm made. Like, just a lemon. Okay. Hi, Allie. Crunchy bones, yep. Hi, Allie, how you doing? And Jesus Christ in real life? I gotta ask, Jesus, what do you think of my reading? Is it okay? Am I doing an okay job, Jesus? Okay, let's read chapter 56. You like it? Well, there you go. Jesus thinks I'm good at reading. No big deal. I'm doing all right, Allie. Yeah, it is a busy week. It is a busy week, holy moly, but we're doing all right. He's back? Yeah, he's over in YouTube chat. See, this is what happens if you hang out in YouTube chat. You might just, like, meet Jesus Christ in real life. It's crazy what can happen over there. Okay. Chapter 56. 3 years had passed since the prisoners had fled Richmond, and in all that time their conversation and their thoughts had been of the fatherland. They had no doubt that the war was ended, and that the North had triumphed. But how? At what cost? What friends had fallen in the struggle? They often talked of these things, although they had no knowledge when they would be able to see that country again, to return, if only for a few days, to renew their intercourse with civilization, to establish a communication between their island and the mother country, and then to spend the greater part of their lives in this colony which they had founded and which would then be raised to a metropolis. Was this a dream which could not be realized? Oh, interesting. Even in their hopes of being rescued, they want to keep living on this island. They want to go back to America, which is really weird. They called it their father country and then their mother country. Kind of weird to use both. Anyways. And then they want to come back to this island, but like have it be like a proper American colony. I bet they would hate it. You know, it's like then they wouldn't be in charge. They wouldn't be making any of the decisions. It'd probably just get like wrecked by the American government. I don't know. Like, they've got it pretty good, except for the fact that there's no women. Like, I know they aren't missing women explicitly, but they can't carry on this way. Yeah, yeah, it's the female free paradise, yeah. All right. There were but two ways of realizing it. Either a ship would someday show itself in the neighborhood of Lincoln Island, or the colonists must themselves build a vessel staunch enough to carry them to the nearest land. Unless our genius furnishes us with the means of returning home, said Pencroff. And indeed, if Neb and Pencroff had been told that a 300-ton ship was waiting for them in Shark Gulf or Balloon Harbor, they would not have manifested any surprise. In their present condition, they expected everything. But Smith, less confident, urged them to keep to realities and to build the vessel, whose need was urgent, since a paper should be placed on Tabor Island as soon as possible in order to indicate the new abode of Ayrton. The good luck was gone. It would take at least 6 months to build another vessel, and as winter was approaching, the voyage could not be made before the next spring. We have time to prepare ourselves for the fine weather, said the engineer, talking of these things with Pencroff. I think, therefore, since we have to build our own ship, it will be better to make her dimensions greater than before. When the arrival of the Scotch yacht is uncertain, it may even have happened that it has come and gone. What do you think? Would it not be better to build a vessel that, in case of need, could carry us to the archipelagos or New Zealand? Well, I think, sir, that you are as able to build a large vessel as a small one. Neither wood nor tools are wanting. It is only a question of time. And how long would it take to build a ship of 250 or 300 tons? 7 or 8 months at least. But we must not forget that winter is at hand and that the timber will be difficult to work during the severe cold. So, allowing for some weeks' delay, you can be happy if you have your ship by next November. Well, very well. That will be just the season to undertake a voyage of some length, be it to Tabor Island or further. All right, Mr. Smith. Make your plans. The workmen are ready, and I guess the Ayrton will lend a helping hand. The engineer's project met the approval of the colonists, and indeed it was the best thing to do. It is true that it was a great undertaking, but they had that confidence in themselves, which is one of the elements of success. Hi, Gremlin Gaming. Hello. Hello, hello. Indeed. Welcome. Welcome in. Archipelago is one of your favorite words. It's a good one. Yeah. It's very satisfying to say. Aw, thanks, Amorn. Hi, Wrecker. Welcome back. Is this a book of Vikings? Nope. Nope. It's a bunch of Americans and one British man stranded on an island. A South Pacific island. Okay. While Smith was busy preparing the plans of the vessel, the others occupied themselves in felling the trees and preparing the timber. The forests of the far west furnished the best oak and elm, which were carried over the new roads through the forest to the Chimneys, where the shipyard was established. It was important that the timber should be cut soon, as it was necessary to have its seasoning for some time. Therefore, the workmen worked vigorously during April, which was not an inclement month, save for some violent windstorms. Jupe helped them by his adroitness, either in climbing to the top of a tree to fasten a rope, or by carrying loads on his strong shoulders. The timber was piled under a huge shed to await its use, and meanwhile, the work in the fields was pushed forward, so that soon all traces of the devastation caused by the pirates had disappeared. The mill was rebuilt, and a new enclosure for the poultry yard. This had to be much larger than the former, as the number of its occupants had increased largely. The stables contained 5 onagas, 4 of them well broken, and 1 little colt. A plough had been added to the stock of the colony, and the onagas were employed in tillage as if they were Yorkshire or Kentucky cattle. All the colonists did their share, and there were no idle hands. And thus, with good health and spirits, they formed 1,000 projects for the future. Ayrton, of course, partook of the common existence, and spoke no longer of returning to the corral. Nevertheless, he was always quiet and uncommunicative, and shared more in the work than the pleasure of his companions. He was a strong workman, vigorous, adroit, intelligent, and he could not fail to see that he was esteemed and loved by the others. But the corral was not abandoned. Himiko, oh my goodness, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Star Avian. Hi, Vinny. Hello. Hi, Mixed Boy. Hi, Apache Bro. Himiko, how was your stream? Were you guys doing ASMR? What were you getting up to? You guys make sure you are dropping a follow for the lovely goddess Himiko and checking out her content. The ass of the centipede is here. Everyone relax. Everyone relax. Our butt is back. Vinny, thank you for the biddy. Nick, hi Nick, thank you for the 5-stream streak. ASMR and chatting a lot today. Oh heck yeah. You know what, Star Avian, it's not, Himiko claimed that for herself, okay? I didn't put it on her. She just suddenly screamed out without warning, I'm the ass of the centipede. And how can I refuse her? She's so excited. Oh yeah. What's up, Mixed Boy? Oh my goodness, Artax, thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you. You added to the centipede train, so clearly you're the butt. I mean, you get to shake it like no one else gets to shake it. You support her? Yeah. Record, this is The Mysterious Island by Jules Verne. Heck yeah, Amhorn. Shake it, shake it. Are you in the centipede? Only if you've membered on YouTube. Then you become a segment. I'm not sure. I don't know about this visual. Oh dear. Alright, you guys. Well, we've got a bit more to read in this chapter. Only if you're a member. Well, specifically, you have to member yourself. You have to member. Or remember. But don't dismember. Okay. You remember? Are you? Are you? Okay. Let's finish this chapter. By the way, after that, we'll take like a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna be doing ASMR triggers. So, all right. Reread that. Which part? Which part? You did what the free follow is on YouTube. No, that's subbing. You're just my sub. I'm talking about membering. Hi, Josh. New sub. Oh, thank you, Josh. Thank you. Welcome in. Welcome. Okay. Let's see what happens next. They are back to having things go smoothly. They did, for the first time in like 3 years, they had a rough patch there. A rough few months. You just became a fan of mine? Well, thank you, Josh. It's lovely to have you here. Okay. But the corral was not abandoned. Every other day, someone went there and brought back the supply of milk for the colony. And these excursions were also hunting excursions, so that Herbert and Spilett, with Top in advance, oftenest made the journey, and all kinds of game abounded in the kitchen of Granite House. The products of the warren and the oyster bed, some turtles, a haul of excellent salmon, the vegetables from the plateau, the natural fruits of the forest were riches upon riches, and Neb, the chief cook, found it difficult to store them all away. The telegraph had been repaired and was used whenever one of the party remained overnight at the corral, but the island was secure now from any aggression, at least from men. Nevertheless, what had happened once might happen again, and a descent of pirates was always to be feared. And it was possible that accomplices of Harvey, still in Norfolk, might be privy to his projects and seek to imitate them. Every day the colonists searched the horizon visible from Granite House with the glass, and whenever they were at the corral they examined the west coast. Nothing appeared, but they were always on the alert. One evening, the engineer told his companions of a project to fortify the corral. It seemed prudent to heighten the palisade and to flank it with a sort of blockhouse in which the colonists could defend themselves against a host of enemies. Granite House, owing to its position, was impregnable, and the corral would always be the objective point of pirates. About the 15th of May, the keel of the new vessel was laid, and the stem and stern posts were raised. The keel was of oak, 110 feet long, and the breadth of beam was 25 feet. But, with the exception of putting up a couple of the frame pieces, this was all that could be done before the bad weather and the cold set in. During the latter part of the month, the weather was very inclement. Pencroff and Ayrton worked as long as they were able, but severely cold weather following the rain made the wood impossible to handle, and by the 10th of June the work was given up entirely, and the colonists were often obliged to keep indoors. The confinement was hard for all of them, but especially so for Spilett. "I'll tell you what, Neb," he said. "I will give you everything I own if you will get me a newspaper. All that I want to make me happy is to know what is going on with the world." Neb laughed. "Faith," said he, "I am busy enough with my daily work." And indeed, occupation was not wanting. The colony was at the summit of prosperity. The accident to the brig had been a new source of riches, without counting a complete outfit of sails which would answer for the new ship, utensils and tools of all sorts, ammunition, clothing, and instruments filled the storerooms of Granite House. There was no longer a necessity to manufacture cloth in the felting mill. Linen also was plenty, and they took great care of it. Taco Cat, thank you for the 1,000 biddies. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. That is so generous. Thank you so much. What book is this? This is The Mysterious Island by Jules Verne. From the chloride of sodium, Smith had easily extracted soda and chlorine. Well, the soda was easily transformed into carbonate of soda, and the chlorine was employed for various domestic purposes, but especially for cleaning the linen. Moreover, they made but 4 washings a year, as was the custom in old times, And Pencroff and Spilett, while waiting for the postman to bring the paper, made famous washermen. Thus passed June, July, and August. Very rigorous months, in which the thermometer measured but 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Can someone convert that in chat for me? I guess, wait, it would be temp F8. Minus 13 Celsius. Oof. Dang. Yes, for anyone new, they are on an island in the South Pacific, so the seasons are upside down. Okay. But a good fire burned in the chimney of Granite House, and the superfluity of wood from the shipyard enabled them to economize the coal, which required a longer carriage. All, men and beasts, enjoyed good health. Now, Jupe, it is true, shivered a little with the cold, and they had to make him a good wadded wrapper. What? Didn't he live in the wild on this island before they arrived? Like, shouldn't he be the one that can most easily deal with the cold? Yeah, what does that mean, a good wadded wrapper? Like crumpled? Like, what does that mean? What a servant he was. Adroit, zealous, indefatigable, not indiscreet, not talkative. He was indeed a model for his biped brethren in the New and the Old World. Well, after all, said Pencroff, when one has 4 hands, they cannot help doing their work well. During the 7 months that had passed since the exploration, they're taking Jupe with them? Where? I mean, they're not going anywhere yet. Oh no, Himiko, during your stream? Oh dear. Artax, thank you for the 100 biddies. Oh my goodness. You do believe you've come up with a decent reason why membership has a tough time shortening like we do with sub for subscription. Subscription is a 4-syllable noun, so it's easier to shorten it into sub, whereas member is 2 syllables, or 3 if you do membership. I believe the best way to say is thanks for joining, or memmed. Yeah, the problem with thanks for joining is that could just mean like joining the chat. We could say thanks for memming. Thanks for the mem. The memby. The membles. Thanks for membling. You could be a mem, or you could be a brr. A brr. In 18th and 19th century English, both words had a very literal definition related to clothing. Wrapper, and Etymology Online entry notes that from 1734 onward, a wrapper was a loose, comfortable robe, dressing gown, or morning gown worn indoors. Wadded meant padded or stuffed with cotton wool, or wadding to add insulation, warmth, or to fill out the silhouette of a garment. Therefore, in a literal historical text, a wadded wrapper is simply a warm, quilted, or padded housecoat. Wait. They made their orangutan servant a nice padded housecoat. That's very cute. That's very cute. Okay. All right. During the 7 months that had passed since the exploration of the mountain, nothing had been seen or heard of the genius of the island, although it is true that nothing had happened to the colonists requiring his assistance. Smith noticed, too, that the growling of the dog and the anxiety of the orang had ceased during this time. These two friends no longer ran to the orifice of the well, nor acted in that strange way which had attracted the attention of the engineer. But did this prove that everything had happened that was going to happen? That they were never to find an answer to the enigma? Could it be affirmed that no new conjunction of circumstances would make this mysterious personage appear again? Who knows what the future may bring forth? On the 7th of September, Smith, looking towards Mount Franklin, saw a smoke rising and curling above the crater. End of chapter. So that's a comfy place to end for the night. Oh shit. Ardax, thank you for the 100 biddies. Oh my goodness. Your enunciation skills are epic. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Motherfucker can't hold tension for a single sentence. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, okay, so we're gonna be, our next reading session, we're gonna be picking up from that cliffhanger. Holy moly. But despite the fact we read 2 chapters, but the first chapter was really long, a lot happened in this section. Like, a lot happened. Minnesota girl, thank you for the 300 biddies. I like how the comment along with that is just the word book. I agree. Book. Yes. Winterwind, good luck with your YouTube channel. Thank you, Winterwind. Okay, are you going to bed, M. Horn? Good night. Gasp. Gasp. Oh my goodness. So, yes, we are going to be wrapping up the YouTube stream. Stream itself is not completely over. We're going to be doing some traditional ASMR triggers and generally cozy hangout, soft-spoken and whispered chit-chat, all that jazz. If you are hanging out specifically on YouTube right now and you'd like to keep hanging out with us for a bit longer while we do that, you can come on over to Twitch, where I am also currently live, or I will be also going live on my other YouTube channel in about 10 minutes. So if you prefer to just stay on YouTube, then you can head on over there if you'd like to hang out with us for a little bit more tonight. I want to say a huge thank you, massive thank you to everyone who has subbed and watched over on YouTube. It is so important, so helpful, such a big deal. Again, I mean, this, if anything has happened like during this stream, this hasn't updated, right? This isn't a live update or whatever, but at the start of stream, these were the numbers we were at. And we need to hit that 1,000, 4,000 by February. So thank you so much to everyone who is helping. Thank you to the new subs. And yes, we will be going live on the other YouTube channel very, very shortly, in about 10 minutes. So if you're on Twitch, don't go anywhere because we're not done. And if you're on YouTube, I will see you on Sunday night. I will see you on Sunday night. That's when I'll be back to read a little bit more to you. All right. You'll switch to the other YouTube, but please remind in Twitch when you go live. over the other YouTube there, otherwise you will forget. Yes, I will put the link up in Twitch chat as well for the other YouTube. Duke, yeah. Good night, YouTube. I'll see you on Sunday. Good night, good night, good night. So I just do that because there's such a delay on YouTube. Okay. There we go.